Everyone trusts Costco. Low prices, easy returns, free delivery. It feels like the safest place to buy a TV. But that's exactly the trap. Those Costco exclusive models, they often look identical to the ones at other stores except for one letter in the model number. That tiny change can mean a different panel, firmware, or performance entirely. So the glowing review you saw online might not apply to the box you just brought home. Costco still gives you great perks, long returns, concierge help, protection plans, but those comforts can distract you from what actually matters. Panel type, HDR support, dimming zones, and software reliability. So before you roll a giant box out of that warehouse, let's break down 12 Costco TV brands from the ones that'll waste your money to the ones actually worth every penny. Number 12, Element. This feels like the instant ramen of TVs, cheap, fills you up, but you won't brag about it. You'll find multiple small and mid-size sets with basic HDR and built-in streaming apps. The price tags look tempting, especially when you're browsing Costco's warehouse floor and you need something quick. Here's the thing. Picture quality and motion processing are bare bones, colors look washed out under any real scrutiny, and fast-moving scenes, forget about it. You'll see motion blur that makes sports and action movies feel like you're watching through a smudged window, and get this build quality exactly at what you'd expect at this price point. Thin plastic bezels, flimsy stands, and remote controls that feel like they'll snap if you drop them once. These sets are great for guest rooms or casual use, not for movie lovers or gamers who care about performance. Bottom line, buy only for bare bones needs. If you care about performance, skip Element entirely. If you're tempted by a cheap badge you recognize, our next one is a nostalgia trap. Number 11, Westinghouse. The name still shows up in Costco and club stores, trading risk decades-old brand recognition. Your grandparents probably trusted this name for refrigerators and washing machines. But modern Westinghouse TVs, reliability is hit or miss at best. You'll see owner reviews that range from works fine for 2 years to died after 6 months. The real kicker is that you're getting limited advanced features compared to value. Brands like TCL or Hisense at similar price points, no mini LED backlighting, mediocre HDR implementation, and app support that lags behind the competition. The extended warranty helps, but you might need it more often than with top-tier brands, which kind of defeats the purpose of buying budget in the first place. Bottom line, only consider Westinghouse with protection coverage and realistic expectations. Don't buy it thinking, you're getting vintage American quality. But what if the brand might vanish from Costco altogether? Number 10. Vizio 2025 Reality Check. Here's where things get complicated. Vizio recently shifted toward another major retailer's exclusive lineup, which means if you buy now at Costco, support and availability may become limited. You're looking at a situation where firmware updates might slow down, replacement parts could be harder to source, and customer service might redirect you elsewhere when you mention you bought from Costco. Historically, Vizio offered solid picture quality for the price. Their quantum dot panels delivered punchy colors, and local dimming performed well in darker scenes. But here's the thing. Future updates and support are uncertain in the Costco channel. You don't want to be stuck with a TV that stops getting the latest streaming app updates or security patches. Bottom line, avoid Vizio at Costco in 2025. It's not a stable club channel pick anymore. If you want Vizio, buy it where they're actually committed to the channel. The next brand is everywhere at Costco, but software can be flaky. Number 9, TCL. This brand brings excellent brightness and contrast in their newer mini LED models. We're talking peak brightness numbers that compete with sets cost twice as much. Their 6 series and higher models pack hundreds of local dimming zones, which means you get deep blacks and bright highlights in the same frame, perfect for HDR content. The size to price ratio is wild ass. You can grab a 65-inch mini LED set for what other brands charge for their 55-inch mid-rangers. But, and this is a big asterisk, but some sets show sluggish menus and random freezes on built-in smart platforms. You'll be scrolling through Netflix, everything's fine, then boom, the interface locks up for 5 seconds. Or the TV decides it needs to reboot in the middle of switching inputs. It's not every unit, but enough owners report these issues that you need to know going in. The real kicker is that TCL's Google TV implementation can be hit or miss depending on which model year you buy. Older firmware versions had more bugs, and updates don't always arrive quickly. Bottom line, TCL is the value king with caveats. Buy for performance, but keep a streaming box handy. An Apple TV or Roku stick can bypass the sluggish built-in software entirely. Moving up the list, we've got another value brand with serious horsepower. Number 8, Hisense. This brand delivers incredible HDR brightness and strong local dimming, perfect for bright rooms. If you've got windows behind your couch and afternoon sun blazing through, Hisense will punch through that glare like nothing else in its price range. Their U-series models hit peak brightness levels that make Samsung's mid-rangers look dim by comparison. And you're getting excellent gaming features, variable refresh rate, auto low latency mode, and HDMI 2.1 bandwidth on multiple ports. If you're running a PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X, Hisense has you covered at a fraction of what Sony or LG charge. Here's the thing, viewing angles are narrow, especially on their VA panels. Sit more than 30 degrees off center, and colors shift, contrast drops, and blacks turn gray. It's fine if you're sitting front and center, but family movie night with people spread across the couch? Not ideal. And get this, minor firmware quirks still appear in owner reports. occasional refresh rate hiccups when switching between gaming and streaming, random audio sync issues that need a reboot to fix, and menu lag that crops up after months of use. Bottom line, performance per dollar is wild ass with Hisense. You're getting flagship level specs at mid-tier prices, so be patient with updates and maybe keep that warranty handy. Now let's talk about a brand that's all about simplicity. Number 7, Roku Pro Series. Roku built their reputation on a clean, easy-to-use operating system, and now they're making the hardware too. The Pro Series delivers solid picture specs without overwhelming you with settings menus. You get quantum dot color, full array local dimming, and Dolby Vision support everything you need for modern streaming. The interface is fast, intuitive, and tries to sell you extra services you don't want. No ads plastered across the home screen, no forced manufacturer apps you'll never use. It's refreshing. But here's the thing. The first-party lineup is newer, so long-term reliability data is limited. We don't have 5 years of owner reports to know if these panels hold up, if firmware updates stay consistent, or if customer service handles warranty claims well. You're taking a small leap of faith, and get this, picture quality still trails the top 3 brands at similar sizes. A Roku Pro Series 65-inch looks good, but put it next to an LG C-Series OLED or a Sony X95, and you'll see the difference in motion handling, upscaling, and color accuracy. Bottom line, easy recommend for the interface. If you value simplicity and smooth performance over absolute picture quality, Roku Pro Series is a safe choice. But if you're a videophile, keep watching. Next up, some legacy names that pop up online. Number 6, Sharp regional/online sightings. This brand pops up periodically in online or regional Costco listings, but availability is inconsistent. You might see them heavily stocked in California and nowhere in the Midwest. Trust and performance generally sit in the middle of the pack, not offensively bad, not exciting either. Here's the thing, specs often trail value brands at the same price. You'll see a Sharp 65-inch for $900, then notice a TCL or Hisense at the same price with better local dimming, brighter HDR, and more gaming features. Sharp is coasting on name recognition more than cutting-edge tech. The real kicker is that customer service and firmware support depend heavily on which Sharp parent company manufactured your specific model. The brand has changed hands multiple times, so quality control isn't consistent across regions. Bottom line, only worth it if the deal is exceptional. If you see Sharp marked down significantly below comparable models, it might be worth a look. Otherwise, go with TCL or Hisense for better performance per dollar. Another legacy name shows up in online listings too. Number 5, Toshiba online-only pockets. This brand shows up mainly in online-only Costco listings, and their feature sets are basic compared to the top tier. You're getting standard LED backlighting, acceptable color reproduction, and reliable performance for everyday streaming. Nothing fancy, nothing broken. These TVs do the job without making you notice them, which can be good or bad depending on what you want. And get this, they're often paired with built-in streaming platforms like Fire TV or Android TV, which keeps the interface familiar if you're already in those ecosystems. App selection is solid, updates come regularly enough, and you're not fighting with a clunky proprietary OS. But here's the thing, you're not getting mini LED, you're not getting advanced local dimming, and gaming features are bare minimum. If you want variable refresh rate or HDMI 2.1 bandwidth, look elsewhere. Bottom line, acceptable if cheap. If you see a Toshiba 55-inch for under $400 and you need something for a secondary room, go for it. But this is not a performance play. Now we're getting into the serious contenders. Number 4, Samsung non-flagship tiers. Think of this as a star athlete with one weird diet rule, amazing performance, but missing a key ingredient. Samsung delivers excellent brightness and gaming features even in their mid-range models. You're getting QLED quantum dot panels that produce punchy, saturated colors and peak brightness that handle any lighting condition. Their Crystal UHD and Q60 to Q80 series models show up regularly at Costco with solid specs and competitive pricing. Gaming performance is top tier, low input lag, variable refresh rate, and HDMI 2.1 ports across the board. If you're a serious gamer, Samsung makes it easy with their Game Bar interface and automatic optimization when you plug in a console. But, and this is the big caveat, Samsung still refuses to support Dolby Vision. They're all in on HDR10 Plus instead, which is fine for some content, but limits you when the majority of streaming services prioritize Dolby Vision. Netflix, Disney Plus, Apple TV Plus, they all master their premium content in Dolby Vision first. You'll still get HDR, but you're not getting the best version. And get this, advanced audio support is limited. No Dolby Atmos pass-through on some mid-range models, which matters if you're building a home theater setup. The real kicker is that Costco exclusive model numbers can complicate comparisons. A Samsung Q70 at Costco might be a Q70A elsewhere with different specs. You need to cross-reference carefully. Bottom line, safe all-rounder. If you prioritize brightness and gaming over Dolby Vision, Samsung is a reliable choice. But know the HDR trade-off going in. And if you're finding this breakdown useful, hit the like button. It really helps the channel cut through the noise. Now let's talk about a brand that does everything well. Number 3, LG LED/QNED tiers. LG brings great gap support and smooth performance across their non-OLED lineup. Their WebOS interface is fast, intuitive, and consistently updated with new features. You get Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos, and all the gaming features you'd expect, variable refresh rate, HDMI 2.1, and auto, low latency mode. The QNED models add mini LED backlighting and quantum dot color, which puts them in the same performance ballpark as mid-tier Samsung QLEDs. Colors are accurate, motion handling is smooth, and upscaling from 1080p content looks natural. You won't see the aggressive sharpening or overprocessed look some brands force on you. Here's the thing, Costco bundles often include multi-year protection and concierge support, which adds real value. You're not paying extra for these perks, they're baked into the Costco purchase price. That peace of mind matters when you're spending over $1,000. And get this, picture quality is solid across the board. These sets handle everything from sports to movies to gaming without breaking a sweat. The WebOS Smart platform is one of the best in the business, with quick app launches and smooth navigation. But here's the reality, OLED remains LG's real strength. If you're buying an LG LED model, you're getting a great TV, but you're not getting what makes LG special. The contrast, the per-pixel dimming, the infinite blacks, that's all OLED territory. Bottom line, comfort pick for mixed use. If you need a TV that does everything well without drama, LG's LED tiers deliver, but upgrade to OLED if your budget allows, because that's where LG truly shines. Speaking of picture quality excellence, number 2, Sony. Sony brings industry-leading processing and support for premium HDR formats across their entire lineup. Their X90 series and X95 series models show up at Costco regularly, and they're worth every penny if picture quality is your priority. The real magic is in Sony's processing engine. The cognitive processor XR analyzes each frame and optimizes contrast, color, and motion in real time. You see the difference immediately when watching movies or prestige TV shows. Details pop in dark scenes without crushing blacks, and bright scenes stay controlled, without blowing out highlights. And get this, motion handling is unmatched. Fast-moving sports, action scenes, panning shots. Sony keeps everything smooth without introducing the soap opera effect that makes movies look like cheap daytime TV. Their motion interpolation is the best in the business when you need it, and completely natural when you turn it off. Here's the thing, color accuracy is at reference level out of the box. You don't need to spend hours tweaking settings or hiring a professional calibrator. Sony's sets come dialed in for accurate skin tones, natural-looking greens, and deep reds that don't bleed or oversaturate. But Sony sells at a premium. You're paying more than Samsung or LG for similar specs on paper. A 65-inch Sony X90 costs more than a comparable Samsung Q80. You're paying for processing, not raw panel specs. The real kicker is that Sony supports every HDR format, Dolby Vision, HDR10, HDR10+, and HLG. You're future-proofed no matter which streaming service or disc format you prefer. Bottom line, if you're a movie lover, this is your safe splurge. Sony delivers the most cinematic picture you'll get without stepping up to OLED or mini LED flagship territory. Buy Sony when you want the TV to disappear and the content to take over. And now, the best overall choice at Costco. Number 1, LG OLED. C-Series/G Series at Costco. LG OLED technology remains the gold standard for home theater enthusiasts. Each pixel emits its own light, which means when a pixel is off, it's truly black, not dark gray like LED backlighting produces. The contrast ratio is infinite. Watching movies in a dark room feels like the image is floating in space. HDR highlights pop against completely black backgrounds, and shadow detail emerges without crushing or muddiness. The difference is night and day compared to even the best LED sets. Here's the thing, Costco routinely stocks these models with extended protection bundles. You're getting a 5-year warranty, concierge support, and sometimes even free delivery and installation. That package alone is worth hundreds of dollars if you were buying the same TV elsewhere and adding protection afterward. And get this, gaming performance is unmatched. Response time is under 1 millisecond, input lag is negligible, and you get HDMI 2.1 ports for connecting multiple next-gen consoles or a high-end PC. Variable refresh rate works flawlessly up to 120 Hz, and auto low latency mode switches instantly when you turn on your PlayStation or Xbox. The real kicker is that larger sizes often see seasonal discounts that turn them into huge value plays. A 65-inch C3 Series OLED dropping to $1,700 at Costco, that's flagship performance at near mid-tier pricing when you factor in the warranty and support. But here's the reality check. OLED isn't perfect for everyone. If you watch a lot of daytime TV with static news tickers or play the same game with permanent UI elements for hours every day, burn-in risk exists. It's rare with modern panels and LG's built-in pixel shift tech, but it's not zero. And if your room is flooded with sunlight, OLED's peak brightness won't punch through glare like a high-end mini LED can. Bottom line, top buy at once choice at Costco for movies and gaming. If you prioritize picture quality and you're using the TV in a controlled lighting environment, LG OLED at Costco is The combination of panel tech, features, and Costco's bundled protection makes it the smartest splurge you can make. Let's recap this whole thing. At the bottom, Element and Westinghouse are fine for just put something on the wall setups, but not if you care about picture quality or longevity. Vizio is a headache in 2025 because of shifting retail channels avoid the uncertainty. TCL and Hisense punch way above their price with bright mini LED performance, but watch for software quirks and narrow viewing angles. In the upper tiers, Samsung shines for brightness and gaming, Sony rules for color accuracy and motion processing, and LG's OLED lineup is the best overall Costco buy when you catch the right bundle during seasonal sales. Now here's how to actually shop Costco TVs like a pro. First decode the model number. Club-specific SKUs often differ by a letter or a suffix. Don't assume they're identical to what you see reviewed elsewhere. Cross-reference specs on the manufacturer's website before you commit. Second, prioritize panel quality and HDR support over marketing buzzwords. A good OLED or mini LED with solid local dimming beats vague claims about 120 Hz effective refresh rate or AI-powered upscaling. Look at the actual specs. How many dimming zones? What's the peak brightness in nits? Which HDR formats are supported? Third, plan your ecosystem. If you want Dolby Vision, skip Samsung. If you prefer simplicity and streaming first interfaces, Roku or an external Apple TV can streamline even mid-range sets. Think about what you'll actually use the TV for gaming, movies, sports, casual streaming, and buy accordingly. Fourth, leverage Costco's perks. Long return windows mean you can test the TV at home for weeks and return it if it's not right. Concierge help means you've got someone to call if setup gets confusing or if something breaks. Multi-year protection plans make big-ticket purchases way less risky, especially on brands with spotty reliability histories. The real kicker is that Costco's pricing often beats Black Friday sales at other retailers once you factor in those bundled warranties and extended returns. You're not gambling on a doorbuster deal that vanishes in an hour. You're getting consistent value with actual support. Let me know in the comments which brand on this list surprised you the most. And if you want to make smarter tech choices, subscribe and hit the bell. I'll see you in the next one.